2 confirmed dinos. Official server support ended. And is ARK on Unreal 5 exactly what we think it's going to be? You're right, kids, it's Raasclark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So yes, that's right, the community crunch dropped last night with 2 brand new reveals. First up, the brachiosaurus people. It's there in the flesh. Big, mighty, strong, like wood. Does like wood. We believe it probably will like wood. And it's great to see in the flesh getting a sense of scale in what seems to be a redwoods biome. It's looking pretty big. And as co-founder Jesse says was always there in the trailer, if you enhanced right at the end, it was seen and speculated by many people, including myself. What's interesting to see is so far with every creature reveal, they're all adopting a more spiky variant look. Perhaps a nod to the planet ARK 2 will be set on, and again rebirthed with this new Stegosaurus concept too, with seemingly more prominent plates than its ARK 1 alternative. It's a wonder if it's going to operate like the Stego in ARK 1, whereby it alternates its different backplate modes. Once again in the redwood, sporting somewhat of a turkey neck gobble gobble, and both wonderful concept work by the team Jesus Condi, Clayton DeMilo, Omar Soretsky, and Mr. Fuego. Hope I pronounced all of those correct. Thank you, Vic, for letting us know. And I know what you're thinking. Wildcard did say the next time we see ARK 2 it would be gameplay, and yet we've got concept work, alluding again to this speculation of ARK 2 definitely being further back than it seems to be. The devs did acknowledge this in the community crunch, saying despite anticipating our next showing of ARK 2 to be a gameplay showcase, we see the hunger and eagerness for more ARK 2 information, and we get it, so here's a sneak peek behind the curtain. With the phrases Stegosaurus, a noble guardian from a foregone epoch, and Brachiosaurus, an aloof behemoth. Though it's a wonder if the Brachio is going to be as powerful as it is in the mod in ARK 1. And again, if we're still at concept artwork reveals now, I think you need to be prepared for maybe not even seeing it this year. With some people speculating perhaps we might see something at the Developer Direct on Jan the 25th by Xbox, being that it is a timed exclusive console launch for the Microsoft team. Though if it doesn't appear there, I think it says it itself. ARK Switch players, you've got a bunch of new patches just dropped to you, as well as a bunch of fixes to Aberration, including Reaper pregnancies, some bad movement on flyers, flickering mating icons, and UI issues to get resolved, creatures not spawning, days not saving. One big thing to drop to Switch is non-dedicated sessions now available. That's right, on Switch you can now host your own non-dedicated sessions to share with people instead of having to rent a server. A big win for Switch players, and especially that Ragnarok is on the cups with this patch. They are preparing for your free DLC and to be dropped early Feb. That's all we know so far, but it's coming very soon. Your very first free map, lucky you. However, anyone booting up ARK Mobile will have noticed a message pop up saying support for official servers has ended. Survive at your own risk. For an optimal gameplay experience, consider single player or a password protected unofficial server. Met with some alarm. Admittedly, when I first heard about this, I thought this was related to ARK 1, seeing that, you know, we're closing out ARK 1, or are we? We'll get to that in just a moment. But no, it is just the mobile game right now. That's it. Cheaters are left to prosper on mobile servers. What's going on? There's been nothing else officially announced anywhere else. The ARK Mobile Twitter page doesn't say anything. Of course, the team who are behind the Switch port are the same team behind this port, meaning perhaps they're moving off this. It did seem that Wildcard were looking to recontract this out to a new developer, and perhaps that's simply it. Grove Street have pulled off ARK Mobile to focus on ARK Switch. And when you're going to give me those artifacts on ARK Dino Discovery mode, guys, come on. We want to see this ARK 2 reveal that's on there. Creature votes are still ongoing. People are still submitting their creatures, and one surprising creature has risen through the ranks. In fact, the top 3 right now is started by the Bastion Beetle, with a lot of awesome, cool suggestions on how this might function. But again, as we've seen with community voted creatures in the past, the devs don't really address these abilities. It's more the aesthetics and simply the essence of the creature. Though a turret on the back of a flying beetle would be very awesome indeed, though didn't kind of get that with the Tropio. And then, of course, as we've mentioned before, the Gorgonops and the Bison all are being submitted along with pages and pages of dinos, and you've got until Jan the 23rd, 1 p.m. Pacific, to get your creature submission in before it's too late. After that, Wildcard will take out the top 10 upvoted submissions. And as it stands, I would take a guess that those top 3 are probably more than likely going to enter into the finale, and one of them likely win. Though any of these in these top 10 upvoted suggestions could make it to the final, and when we get the final 10 together, I will be going through them and giving my opinion on those. ARK, the Survival of the Fittest, has received another big update. In fact, one of the biggest updates they've had so far, perhaps because it's included new additional content. As said in the patch notes, in preparation for the console release in literally just over a week, they have thrown in non-island creatures. So that's the Karkinos, Reaper, Mantis, Roll Rat, Rock Golem, Magmasaur, and Velo. Really surprised to see these in a special Dino Crate supply delivery ring system. I'm especially excited to get my hands on the Reaper. I'm hearing already that it's pretty broken. I'm not surprised. It's pretty broken. It's a Reaper, dude. And there's no light bets on the map to combat it, though you can get Z fruits. But there's one other creature in that list I'm also expecting to be OP. And I'm going to try and stream tonight to find out. But I don't want to tell anyone what it is until I've tried it out myself. And just to remind you, yes, the 31st of Jan, console, Xbox and PlayStation, you are getting this to play yourselves. Finally, it's almost round the corner and hopefully will be crossplay upon release. So as part of the community crunch, this was dropped, a poster with Bob on a cliff saying a day in the life soon. And expectedly, whilst we're very hyped about the ARK 2 dinos, I think this needs a deeper dive looking into. See, lest we forget, very recently, only last week, ARK tweeted this: ARK 1 on UE 4.5, ARK 1 on UE5, planning something about Unreal Engine 5. But I couldn't shake the thought of this being related, and this is a question, a theory, a speculation, so take this with a pinch of salt. But what if, and I hope you're sitting down for this, what if Unreal Engine 5 isn't an ARK 1 upgrade and instead ARK 1 reimagined in Unreal Engine 5 through an animated animation? Lest we forget, Kudakors has been working on various UE5 ideas with ARK 1, implementing them to play with ideas on how to use the engine for cinematics. And since looking at this, for some reason it says to me ARK 1 Unreal 5. It looks like an Unreal 5 depiction of a Bob from ARK 1. And perhaps this whole Unreal 5 reveal is actually going to be a cinematic capture of ARK 1 and not us physically playing it. Again, there's nothing to suggest anything, it's simply a theory, but Unreal Engine 5 is a big deal, and for ARK 1 to get a full upgrade whilst they're working on ARK 2 did seem perhaps too good to be true, and maybe that's really what's happening here. Nevertheless, the response for ARK 1 on Unreal Engine 5 has been phenomenal that the devs may be entertaining it. Jezza Jeremy, co-founder of Wildcard 2, did recently just retweet a video by Greg Coulthard, who we showed a video of last week, just showcasing a fan-made project of ARK 1 shown in Unreal Engine 5. Creating somewhat of a dismay and a lot of questions, including one from Loaded Crisis asking, will there be any announcement soon? Jeremy replied with, depends on the definition of soon, soon-ish, and Wildcard saying the word soon-ish doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. But let's say I'm right and this is actually what it's being made for. The assets have still been made, and perhaps even then Wildcard might release those assets for us to use in some modding capacity, maybe a patch to ARK 1, or maybe it is really an Unreal Engine ARK 1.5 upgrade that a lot of you seem to want even more than ARK 2, and well, maybe we need it if ARK 2 isn't anytime soon. Thanks all for watching. My name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.